I drive truck between Vancouver and Tallahassee. I'm always into Tallahassee by Friday unless I have some problems with my truck or bad winter weather. Been doing it for 22 years and I love the life. Me and the wife live just outside Vancouver with our 3 teenagers. Own our own home. Well, me and the bank, of course. I'm originally from the South, but I met my wife in BC. We got a good marriage. Cash and carry is how I like to think of it. Of course, we don't see that much of each other, about 7 days a month. And I figure I know my tractor here a whole lot better than I know her. This is the best rig I ever had. It's powerful, reliable, easy to run, beautiful to drive. And I love that distinctive rumble when I wind her up. This may sound a little strange, but that's almost the way I'd describe my wife. Climb on in the other side. We'll talk. The wife knew I liked the road life before she hooked up with me. Let me shut this. Yeah, I told her I wasn't coming off the road for a 9 to 5, no way. She's never asked and doesn't complain. Respect her for that. And I bring home a good income by staying on the road 49 weeks of the year. I'm always glad to see her when I get back. She's good to me in every way. Never bitches, never. Just tells me something once and then leaves it with me. We try to do a lot of things together when I'm there. Us and the 3 boys. I figure I owe her that. What do they call that these days? Being attentive. Love that saying. Well, I love her about the same as I did 20 years ago. And that's the great thing. Everything's stable, predictable. Now, we used to do a little fighting years ago, but we got that all sorted out. Know when not to rile each other. And the best part is, we're great in this act together. But mostly it's that we have the same attitude about things. You know, the money, the kids, holidays, all that sort of stuff. Kind of see it as the perfect life. Gear jamming on the road, plus having a great family. I like to take in some country or blues music when I'm in Tallahassee at different bars. Anyway, about 2 years ago, I met a woman at the casino. A bunch of us drivers were drinking and having a good time. But I was watching her at the blackjack table. Couldn't keep myself from staring. Real eye candy. You know, a place opened up beside her at the blackjack table. I sat down. I didn't talk to her right away. Just started playing and winning, which was also completely different for me. You know, one of those rare times in your life. Finally, she leaned over to me and told me I was really wired, cowboy. Well, I started laughing because it was such a high. I asked her if she wanted to sit in my spot, thinking maybe to change her luck. She refused, told me to keep riding my streak because she'd only break it. I kind of insisted. I think she finally moved more to please me than because she thought it'd make any difference. And of course it didn't. We both started losing, so we cashed in our trips and went for a drink. We spent a couple hours together, mostly just joking about things, nothing serious. And then we went out to eat. I told her right up front that I was married and asked her if I could see her next time I was in town. That's how it started. She's a social worker. Those people who have to remove children from homes when they're in serious trouble. Now that has got to be one of the toughest jobs there is. But man, was she ever up that first night I met her. Said she lived by the motto, make the most of the moment. And boy, she did that in spades. You never know when the Grim Reaper's gonna pay his call, is how she put it. Well, we started making the most of a lot of moments. Now, every time I'm in Tallahassee, we spend the weekend together. She never talks about me leaving the wife. Maybe because she knows it just isn't going to happen. Said she never wanted to get married or have kids. And I don't think she's shitting me on that after what she sees day after day. It's kind of sad, I think. But man, I'll tell you, she is wild in bed. She wants to do everything with all kinds of toys and stuff that I've never even seen or heard about. Sometimes she's so out there, it's like she's not even thinking about what we're doing. I can't really explain that, but I don't mind, because she's so worked up and enjoying herself. I kind of admire her for being able to get like that. I wish I could. First couple of times I felt whipped lying there beside her after we finished. She says I satisfy her and make her happy. But I'm not sure, because I figure that's what a social worker would say. You know, something to make you feel good about yourself. She calls me her easy rider. Seems to fit. Funny thing is, sex with my wife is even better now. I guess you could say we're pretty normal when it comes to sex. Conservative. But I'm turning her on to some new things. Of course, I can't talk about where it's all coming from. And it's strange, but I don't feel all that guilty about it. I never thought I could want or enjoy two women at the same time in my life. Well, on alternating weekends, I mean. Life at home has never been better. I always thought that when you met someone else, you'd want to leave your wife, but no. I love her just the same. And yet, I'm crazy about my woman in Tallahassee. She makes me feel free to try new things. Like getting me to think about things that I'd never thought about. I'm not sure I'd call it love with her. Don't really know. When I put my arms around my wife when we go to bed, it feels like home. I get that good feeling in my chest that I know it is love. I could never give that up. Somehow I've been able to separate the two lives. Sitting in the cab, shifting gears, listening to that diesel roaring, moving across the country with that roadhouse boogie cranked up, and talking to the other drivers. By the time I get to Vancouver or Tallahassee, I'm in a different world, and I've left the other somewhere far behind. Funny, I started dreaming about him about a year ago. I'm in a restaurant at the Kansas border where I always stop to eat. The two women I love are waitresses, dressed in bright pink uniforms, both smiling at me. They start bringing plates of food to my table, but I can't eat a thing, so I'm desperate to get out of there. But they're always standing at the door when I try to leave. So I start to run for the back door. I'm so relieved to get out of there. But every time I go to the front of the building, my truck is gone. A couple of times I've turned around. There's been a closed sign on the door, and all the windows have been painted black. Every one of them. I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but I wouldn't call it good. It probably happens because sometimes I feel a bit guilty about the whole thing. It's probably normal to feel some guilt, but most of the time I'm very happy about it all. We're all happy. Seems normal somehow. Not like I'm doing something wrong. Now it's as if it's the way it's supposed to be. It's my regular life. But I'm pretty sure one day I'm going to roll into Tallahassee and her line's going to be disconnected and that'll be it. I know that's the way it's going to happen because I've known that right from the get-go. She knows I'll understand, so there'll be no need to talk about it. I guess what worries me most is not the thought of losing her. Well, that's not true. Because I always figured that eventually she's going to find somebody else, a better prospect. But I wonder, how will it be with my wife after that? I hope it'll be enough.